Ascent Journeys.
High Chief Clement Ugwu Ezemma. High Chief Clement Ugwu Ezemma. Ascent has gone to be with the Lord. May your gentle soul rest in peace.
Ascent Journeys. A visual compendium of the life and times of High Chief Ugwu Clement Ezemma, Clem, Onyishi Okiti in Edem Community, NSUKKA local government area of Enugu State. This way, I evade death's sting by dying to the world in advance, disassociating myself from the body, so that when physical death arrives, I am no longer home to receive it. These are the words of Socrates. The life and times of High Chief Ugwu Clement Ezemma, Clem, Onyishi Okiti was well captured by the above words of doyen of philosophy, Socrates. The chronicles of his life was oxymoronic and as well paradoxical. His beginning was humble yet tortuous, but with faith in God, unrelenting and untiring spirit, he etched his name on the precious historical stone. He is a selfless, dedicated, and uncompromising Catholic faithful. Clem was the only surviving son of his late parents, Ogbuanya Ezugwu of Amenu Edem and Ezugwu Ogoro Omada. His late father was the son of Onah Asanya of Ezike Amoke kindred in Okiti, Ankpa Edem Ancient Kingdom. Due to his orphanage at tender age, formal education eluded him, but due to his love and hunger for formal education, at the sunset of his life, he enrolled into ninth adult education in Ugwu. It was with the literacy skills acquired at the latter time of his life that aided him in reading his Bible. In his choice of career, he was highly successful in farming and bricklaying, through which he was able to raise his children. He was a builder per excellence, despite not having any formal education. He was a signature of all eyes and sought after for his incredible skills in building construction. Clem nurtured a plethora of young men under his tutelage. Clem Ezemma is an enigma that defies a straight description. His legacy in faith to Catholicism, compassion, forthrightness, philanthropism, and patriotism were all interwoven. His family members described him.
Well, my dad is a man who lived very long and lived well. He was a very humble man, very patient, and a man of few words. You will never see him talk. He is a biblical man who interpreted the world as vanities. Nothing on earth mattered to him. One thing mattered to him: he wanted to go to heaven. He wanted eternity more than anything. And he will not lift his hand to fight for anything. If you say that this is yours, he will say, take it. He spent his time with his chaplet praying. And as I was describing in the church today, his last 5 years on earth, he could not wear any other cloth that is not white, because he knew that the time was coming and he wanted to die as a sign of his transition.
Lord keep you forever till we meet to burn no more.
My father, Clement Ugwu, as you rightly called, I don't think within a short while is not enough to describe him, but just for the sake of courtesy, Clement Ugwu, my father, as he is a dedicated man of God. From the testimonies
of people. Because even the Bible says that whatever we bind on earth is bound on heaven, and whatever we lose on earth is loose in heaven. From the testimony of people on here with us on earth, my father is really a good Christian.
Talking about my father, well, I only know that he's a saint. My dad was a wonderful father who nurtured us in a good Catholic way, in everything. I wouldn't know where to start to say his role, but he played the best role any father can play in his entire life. As a Mason, he was devoted all his money to care for the children, to make sure that we attain the level we are today.
He's a living saint, and he's a man that his character worth to emulate, in the sense that he's a practicing Christian. He's always like to do what is right in front of human being and in front of God. And not only that, he also believes in Catholic doctrines as much as he lived in this earth. He believed in Catholic doctrines, and he also liked to fight for the oppressors.
Papa is a father like no other. You cannot wish to have any other father other than Papa Clement, because you know that in this part of the world they don't regard girls, but Papa had so much regard for his girls and gave me this name, Ogoro, few hours after my birth.
Papa is such a wonderful person that is always in my family, in my house. You know, when we are growing up, Papa Clem will always ride his bicycle on daily basis. Is in our house to make sure that we go to church. He's so religious person that it is through him that my mother became a Christian. It is through him that all my siblings, every one of us, became Christians.
Pa Clem was a template of love, faith, perseverance and selflessness. Though he was a centenarian before his final sojourn to yonder, his impacts to people's lives were a testament of the dictum of Frederick Marshall that the measure of life is a donation, not a duration. His compassionate and sacrificial heart of gold gestures to the less privileged and those persecuted for their faith were second to none. People reflect on his legacies and personality while alive.
Daddy has lived a good life and he has left legacies. And that is what you're saying here right now. Thank God for his life. He lived a very worthy life. That's why he died at a very old age. So we thank God for his life, and we thank God for the way he brought up, he trained his children. Doctor is our very good friend, and from what you can see here, everybody is celebrating the life of this icon. He was and that shows he was righteous. He's a very righteous man. He was a very good Christian, a believer, not just a believer, but he lived an upright life. He was such a wonderful father to us.
The life of Pa Clem remained a mystery that, when properly analyzed, reveals that he was a great pencil in the hands of the Almighty God. One of his daughters went memory lane to reconnect his trials and triumph.
Pa Clement Ezemma Ugwu is a destined child. That is a child that was born, and when he was born, when nature saw his fear, his gifts, so many things so many factors wanted to suppress him and remove him. First, he was born to a noble family of Ezugwu, Ogoro, Omada, and Ogbuanya of Amenu. They were great farmers and they were rich, but things turned suddenly when both of them died at a very tender age because they inherited wealth from their rich grandmother, who was Ankpa Edem Ancient from Amadu. Her wealth was so known that she had fleets of innumerable wealth that should be inherited. But when the son, precious son, died with the wife, my father became an orphan. And because of that orphanage, he moved from place to place. He first lived with paternal uncle, lived with the aunts, and then lived with paternal uncle, Ugwu Ezemma. That was the warrant chief. That was the person who brought him here at Amenu, where we are living today. Ugwu Ezugwu, the warrant chief, the maternal uncle, brought him here in the 50s. Papa went through a lot of chronicles in life that weren't keeping record. At a very tender age, when he was living with his paternal uncle, he was so malnourished because they were not giving him food. So he started being sick at a very tender age. He suffered, especially the one they called Ngume, at a very early stage. That was actually what made the aunts to come and take him, and he now went to reside with her in Ishakbanya. It was in Ishakbanya that he encountered Christianity at his 20s. So from that Ishakbanya, he converted to Christianity in 1947. From then, he remained a Christian. He was baptized in 1954. From that 1954, he was baptized. He remained an ardent Christian. Papa was a destined child, I am saying, because the chronology of what Papa went through, if it was not God alone, he cannot reach the ripe age of 103.
High Chief Clement Ezemma, High Chief Clement Ezemma,
The account of his family life can be properly described as embodiment of love, sacrifice, and service. He was married to his heartthrob, Mrs. Josephine Olefi Ugwu Ezugwu from Ugwu Edemani in 1966 and settled in Amenu. The marriage was blessed with 5 living children out of 9. His value and premium placed in Western education can be exemplified by the results of his adroitness in training all his children to the university level despite his lean resources. Due to his achievements before his demise, lots of people testify of his goodness and as well offer words of encouragement.
Let them forget crying. Let them go emulate the kind of life their father lived, because their father lived a great life. Both the children, both the grandchildren, both the great-grandchildren, because he's got them lined up.
The family, I know the first son that is staying his footstep. His first son is staying the footstep, and I know this man left a footprint on the ground. Good life. He lived it here. He lived in my community in Edem, in Ugwu. He lived in my community because the mother comes from my community, and he lived there till he became the oldest man here in Okiti. Yeah, he lived in my community, and all of us know him so well. Very prayerful man, very prayerful, and I know that the family will equally be blessed because okay, Adam Mutangwe, Adam Mutapi. So he must have, these are people that were coming out from him, so they must be right.
I will encourage them to keep on the legacy left behind by their father, because longevity comes from God. Longevity comes from God. So they should be upright. The father left a legacy of uprightness, and then being a kind fellow, a kind man to his community, with living in peace and harmony with his environment and the people within his enclave. So I will enjoin them to keep up the legacy left behind by their father.
Okay, because the word of good will to the family is that the family should continue to be united. Just like you have seen that there's unity, and there's nothing you cannot achieve this without unity. So the family should be united and grow in love as well. So that they can now live the kind of life that Baba lives. Also, should be able to step into Baba's shoes.
The digital traditional ruler of Edemani, His Royal Majesty Samuel Ikechukwu Asado, Igwe Ogadagidi, in his condolence message described Clem as a remarkable individual who touched the lives of many, who will be forever remembered for his kindness, compassion for community development, and contribution to the society. The major defining character of late Clem was his unwavering commitment to Christian faith. His conversion to Christianity dated back to 1947 in the eras of Reverend Fathers Horgan and Millet at Ogbuanya in today's Kogi State. He was converted to Christianity with his late aunt, Ezugwu. It was, however, during one of his episodic critical health challenges in 1954 that he received the sacrament of baptism. Since then, Clem remained a devoted and ardent Catholic till his death. As a result of his Christian faith, he faced innumerable persecutions and intimidations. He was jeered at, cajoled, ridiculed, and even ostracized. In the midst of all these oddities, he remained focused and undeterred. He prioritized the salvation of his soul over and above any material and worldly gains. Even Onyishi, gerontocratic position attained as the eldest person, he rejected all entitlement and practices that negated his Christian faith. He was a founding member of the Catholic Church community in Edem and played a pivotal role in human and infrastructural growth of St. Paul's, St. Teresa's, and Michael's parishes in Edem, respectively. As a charismatic leader, he was many times the Curio and Presidium President of our Joy in St. Teresa's Catholic Parish, Ugwu. He was also a seasoned catechism instructor and equally served in many committees in the church, especially in the building committee. In continuation of his heart of giving and love for work of God, his son, Dr. Ezema Ugwu, speaks on how the legacies of his late father will be immortalized, his plans on how to pilot the family affairs, and shares his gratitude to his teeming guests.
My family and I have decided that my dad was an orphan. He had no formal education. My dad had no formal education, but he went on to produce professors. My elder sister is a doctor. My younger brother is a lecturer and an engineer. My younger sister is a pharmacist. So, looking at all this, and it was a man, my maternal uncle, who saw my dad as an orphan and said, "Come." That's how my dad came to live in Amenu. And we decided that the best way to immortalize him is to give back in his name to the community. Yesterday, about 15 doctors came to Amenu and Ankpa from UNTH, from medical outreach, as part of Clem Foundation. We have decided to invest 50 million naira, as I announced today, annually for the benefit of our people in education, in medical care, and in social support. That's how we want to remember our dad. The website is already on, established. Everything that is going on is being posted there. What I learned from my dad, as I have mentioned, is one thing. He lived 103 years. He's gone now. Everything that we remember is his legacy. So what is this world about? So for me, the legacy that I've learned is, look, the world is vanity. Do not fight for anything. If somebody comes here and says, oh, Dr. said, this belongs to me, I say, take it. So, for my family here, as you could see there, we celebrated our dad's meet in peace. Everybody enjoyed themselves. My sisters and brothers invited their friends. They sat, ate, drank. We did not give A something different than B. Everybody ate. You don't have to come to me. You come to whoever I have invited you or is your friend. So going forward, I want to foster peace and unity among my siblings by leading by example. Well, I have always thought one thing in life. I've always believed that the common good is better than an individual good. And what you saw today was a testament that my friends from all walks of life, those of my friends who were in North America, US and Canada, in social media they have been tweeting because they have been following us. My friends all over Nigeria, you saw them today. And I'm quite happy that despite the tight schedule of Christmas, people found time to honor my dad the way they did. And all I can say is a big thank you to them.
As we reflect on the legacy of Clem, we are reminded that true greatness is not measured by fame or hypocritical accolades, but by the impact one has on others. At a ripe age of 103, he stands as a symbol of all that is good and noble in this world. His departure from the earth on the 2nd of September 2024 and the burial and funeral ceremony on the 27th of December 2024 was an end of an era and last of Fala of a sort respectively. The funeral attracted who is who in Nigeria and beyond, as well as first-class traditional rulers among others. The event featured different kinds of performances from dancing troupes, cultural dance, and masquerade displays.
Ezugwu,